she looked at us and she said, "What are you doing here? Are you sure about that?" And I thought, okay, this is not starting very well. I'm not having a lot of trust in you right now. Hello cookies, it's Siri. I am back, and today I wanted to have a relaxed talk with you about my sterilization process. I have known since I was 17 that I did not want to have children, or better said, I did not have to have children. I made a whole video about it. I will link it somewhere around here or in the description box down below if you're interested. So I basically knew since I was 17 that having children was not in the books for me. And once I moved to Sweden, I learned that here in Sweden, you can get sterilized between the age of 18 to 25 if you apply and you're approved. And then if you're over 25, you can also apply to get sterilized. I first applied when I was 22, and after that I applied 4 times and got rejected every single time. The application is basically through your doctor or gynecologist, and then you have to be approved by the Social Health Care Board. It's called Socialstyrelsen, which is a board that basically decides if you're allowed to get sterilized or not. So basically now I'm 24 and I have to apply to some government people that can decide whether or not I can get sterilized. It is bizarre to me that from the age of 18 here you can vote, you can drive a car. I already voted here in Sweden when I was 22 or 23. I got married at 23, but yet if you're 23 or 24, you're not allowed to decide for yourself what the best means for contraception for you is. But that is a debate for another time. But anyway, I finally got approved when I was 26. Hooray! And I was so happy. I went again to meet a gynecologist, and this time, because I had applied so many times, she had all the papers in front of her, all of my letters explaining my reasoning. She did not try to convince me. She followed protocol and told me about all the other ways of preventing pregnancy, and I listened to her, of course, as if it were the first time. A quick tip for those of you who have a problem being taken seriously whenever you're asking for a sterilization is not to lose your cool, because of course for you it is probably the 100th time you were explaining your reasoning, that you're not going to change your mind, that you have thought this through, that yes, you're aware of all types of other birth controls. But for this person, it's the first time they meet you. And if you start acting crazy and angry and bitter because you already have bad experiences, they will not be in the best mood to grant you your sterilization, because they might think that you are emotional or that you're going through other things mentally. They will try sometimes to find reasons not to grant you your sterilization. So have patience with the doctors. So I was in the gynecologist office, so excited about this new possibility that has opened itself to me. The thing about me is that I have always chased freedom ever since I was a child. So living in Madagascar was about freedom, studying in English was about freedom, getting my laser eye surgery was about freedom from glasses, and then a sterilization for me was one of the most important pieces of that whole freedom puzzle board that I have in my mind. So we discussed the ways to get the sterilization done, and the gynecologist tells me that I have to do a laparoscopy surgery. And my entire world crumbled. I could not believe it. I thought there was a way to go through the canal, through my privates, instead of having to cut me open again. And she explained that the method where you could go through your canal has actually posed problems to many people. It has a high failure rate, and basically it was not really approved anymore here in Sweden. If you have watched this channel for a long time, you know that I had a laparoscopic surgery in 2016 because I had a growth on my right ovary. And that surgery destroyed my life back then. It destroyed my mental health, physical health, financial health, and it took a huge toll on my marriage back then, and I do believe that it was the beginning of the end for us. It was such a bad experience that I wanted to insert a clip somewhere here showing you that surgery, but I refused to watch all my videos about my surgery. Not because I am ashamed of them, I am totally not, and I'm really happy that so many women found comfort in them or questions answered, and so many of you have messaged me after those videos as well, but I don't want to watch them because it was such a traumatic experience for me that I'm always trying to relegate it to the back of my head and never try to think about it. It took me 2 years to fully recover from that surgery, and I had lost sensation on the left side of my pelvic area, including the left side of my private parts. I could not go to the gym for months on end. I was very sick for the first 2 weeks after my surgery. And then whenever I tried to get an appointment with the doctors that operated on me, they were always busy, or oh, they forgot about the time, or they were not available, they were on a holiday. They never wanted to meet me. I met one of them once, and then he said, yes, we will do some more investigation, and then he ghosted me. I looked into my journal from back then, and I noticed that the hospital where I had my surgery done had closed. I googled, and there was a huge scandal back in 2016 and 17 about how that particular hospital butchered women for money, because you get more money from the government if you push for surgery even on women that did not need surgery. It became a huge thing, a huge investigation, and many women came forth talking about how their lives got destroyed and they messed them up and they butchered their bodies. It sounds crazy because I thought that I was the only one they treated so badly. I did hear in the waiting room some women talking about how they felt like we were being treated like cattle, where it's in, cut, out now, next, in, cut, out now. But I thought it was just those particular women in the waiting room with me. So when she told me there was no other way, I was devastated. I went back home and cried. I was so miserable and I did not know what to do. I don't want to go through the same thing again. Granted, it's a new clinic and it's not going to be the same surgeons or the same circumstances, but at the same time, I did not want to go through the same traumatic thing ever again. I took 6 months to think about it and decided to book a surgery. But then my architecture school started, so it was a bad timing. I rebooked it to winter 2021, so the beginning of the year. The boyfriend and I went there on the 8th of February. We were ready. We had cleaned the bed sheets. I hadn't eaten for the last 12 hours. I was clean. Everything was ready. I already had bought charcoal for the gas pain because they pump gas into you for laparoscopy. And when we showed up, the lady was surprised. She looked at us and she said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Hello, I'm Erie, I'm here for my surgery." And she said, "Are you sure about that?" And I thought, okay, this is not starting very well. All the flashback of how bad they treated me at the previous clinic came back flooding, and I thought, I'm not having a lot of trust in you right now. What is happening? We got the day wrong. My surgery was supposed to be on the 8th of March, but we arrived there on the 8th of February. So instead we went and ate waffles, and then after that architecture school would start, so it was bad timing again, and I just cancelled the time. And that's how far I have come so far with my sterilization. I am still terrified of having to relive the same thing, so I don't know when I will book another time. To some extent, I was relieved that we got the wrong day and that my school made it impossible for me to get the surgery done. I did not want to be behind with school. I did not want to potentially have to be bedridden for a couple of months instead of being able to study. But another side of me wished it got done just so that I could be free. So that's where I'm at right now. I am thinking more and more about booking another time and getting it done finally, but the timing is never really right. I am scared of being in hospitals at the moment because of what is happening worldwide. It just feels like there are many reasons not to get it done, even though inside I truly want to get it done. So that's it for today's video. It was just a quick chat with you, cookies. And let me know in the comment section down below if you have done your sterilization, if you're thinking of doing it. If you're of course not thinking of doing it at all, then you don't have to write anything if you don't want to, or if you have a totally different experience. Of course, I think having a dialogue with you is my favorite part of doing this whole YouTube thing. And until next time, I will see you, cookies, at the next video. Bye bye!